Hey guys, welcome back to Playing in Space with Planet Head. If you caught my last episode, uh, I actually made it earlier this morning. This one will probably post, and I posted it a little bit after that. This one will probably post in about 2 days. Of course, she's here, so got to put her on the camera. There she is, just hanging out, watching us play. In super good mood. Um, that is Maya, if you've never met her. Um, just do the little disclaimer at the beginning of the video. This is just a chronological history of me returning to the game. It's not really meant as a tutorial. It's more of a things I'm coming across that interest me that might interest other people, and to just kind of have some fun making some videos. If you want to check out the playlist, there should be a playlist in the description of the videos. Um, and I'm trying to do them in chronological order. And usually I'll make them and then post them every other day. Some days I'll make like three if I'm not working or if I've got some time. But just to kind of give myself a little bit of a break of trying to make sure they're out, I can just get them out. So like today, I made a video this morning, posted it, and then this one I'm making tonight, I'll probably post it in like 2 days once I take a little bit of time to make a title screen and stuff like that. So that being said, if you want to check out the whole playlist, it's in the description. Um, Reason why I'm doing this video is I took my time from earlier today. If you watched the video earlier today, uh, I ended the video right before the Eagles played, my boys, um, and we ended up winning. So I'm still wearing my gear. Um, that said, I'll always wear my gear, whether we're doing good or bad. But for today's vid, when I jumped back into play tonight after eating some dinner, I ran across a couple things that I thought might be a little bit of interest that, like I said, this isn't really tutorial videos, but it might be something that would interest other people, like it interests me. Um, so one of them was I had um, uh, a miss, I'm trying to think, assumption. I had assumed something for hybrid ammo because I thought I remembered something and I was wrong with that. I did a little bit of research. This might be a little bit bad having the bed right next to me if she's going to walk up and sniff my face whenever I'm talking. Okay, she's gone. Actually, it's kind of fun. Um, so I want to show you that here in a little bit. The very first thing I'm going to go over is just a little glitch that I found in the missioning. I know they've done some really good updates over the last couple of years, but some of the missions run into this, and maybe you've run into it a little bit. And as I've been doing the missions, I have this issue when doing the missions, and it's easy to get around, but it's a little bit frustrating. Um, and maybe you guys know a faster way to get around it. Probably there is. I just haven't delved enough into it. So if you want to let me know in the comments, I'll talk about that in just a second. And then at the very end, I didn't do this in the last video. I think I was just waking up and tired. I'll check out the comment section and see if there's anything in there to do some quick audible replies to. So, first part, we'll jump right back into the little glitch of the missions that I have here. So, um, one of the missions that I'm doing, this is like the second or third time I'm doing this mission, is let me see here. It was, look at my list. One of the rogue missions. It's like the or drone infestation or something. I can pull it up in game, but I'll show you. You'll see it here in a second. Um, but with the updates, um, over the last couple of years, one of the really nice updates is that it gives you a little bit easier interface to go do each mission. It will tell you what the next objectives are a lot in the new missions. And a lot of them are really nice that they delve deeper into the mission. I remember back in the day when what pushed me off of doing missions was they were a little sometimes they'd be a little bit vague or I'd be spending too much time trying to find a certain thing that I had to blow up, even though thought I had my overview set up correctly, but I didn't. And I would just waste some time that way. So their interface, usually over on the left-hand side here, is very nice, telling you where to jump to and then um, what to blow up and that sort of thing, or what your next action needs to be. Now, on the opposite end, I know the realists out there would be like, well, actually, it would be cooler, and I'm cool with this, if you had to figure it out on your own. And that's cool too. But for somebody like me who's just kind of a passive, relaxing player, I want to figure out some parts of it. But when I need to jump 4 systems to go someplace, it's very nice to have this over here. Now, the irony is this mission that I was just given did not give me this, and I'll show you here. So if you notice over on the side here, normally it would give you um, a prompt that would say jump to next gate or go through this warp gate or something like that. Right now it is not doing that. So it's kind of telling me, hey, you don't have any missions to go right now, but I know I just accepted one. Um, and I'm just going to go into the agency, pull up the agent that I've been working with, and you'll see that yes, I did accept this mission. And it is in another system. It's about 3 systems away, I think, right now, but it's not showing up over here. So in reality, for all of the newer guys who have come into play, I've never run into this. This is the way missions used to be. And for those people who are wanting more vagueness in their stuff, yeah, there's some of them out there. And some of them can be really frustrating if you have to read the fine print on them every once in a while. This one's a fairly simple one. I just have to fly to another area, especially like most of the level 1 missions are pretty simple. Fly to the one system. So boom, suddenly I set that up and it gives me the route, but it still doesn't give me the mission objective. So really what I've got to do is just keep this up or and make sure that I'm finishing off all of the things. The other really nice thing about the prompts is it tells you when the mission is done. So sometimes you're not sure, did I kill the leader of the Serpentis group that I'm fighting, and now I can just go home and not have to kill off all these peons. So that is a time saver there with that. But some missions out there, I've run into this probably about 5% of the missions I've done at level 1 do not give me the prompt. So it's kind of like an old school thing. So not delving too much in that, but just to warn you, may run into that every once in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and start jumping that way. I'm not going to bore you guys with this mission. I'm going to just head that way. The uh, the second thing that, and if you're wondering why I have some frequency crystals, this is just loot that I've gotten. I don't have those guns, so I'm about to head home and just drop off a bunch of stuff. Um, the second thing I want to show you guys was an assumption that I had that I was incorrect about. So I remember the last time I played, I think I had mostly played with a lot of um, Minmatar ships, which are focused on your projectile ammo. And um, with projectile weapons, the ammo itself, I remember I had learned the last time I had played that there isn't only just a damage component and of the ammo and a range component, but there was a trajectory analysis component of it too, or I might be using the wrong wording there. Hold on one second. So, and I will show you here. Um, so if you've never used it, or if you have, I've always found the nice little compare tool here. I think it's maybe one of the most underused items in Eve, but I use it every once in a while, and it really helps speed up what I'm doing. So let's go compare tool. Okay. And then I've got the compare tool here. There's probably faster ways you can use compare tool. I'm not killing myself trying to learn this. And I'm going to go into projectile ammo. And we're just going to do the small ones, the small standard ammo, keep it basic. I'm just going to pull up 3 ammo systems, just drag them over. I think there's probably even a faster way you can do this, but we're not too worried about it. Can I double click it? Nope, it'll bring that up. Okay, not a problem. Drag over some depleted, and I'll drag over some EMP. So with the compare tool, a lot of you have probably already used. I'm going to close down the market here. Bring this over so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm going to keep on jumping over to A now. Um, it then gives you items that you can compare. So what I like to do is just go along and see which ones, obviously all of them are small, so I don't need to compare that. Their volume is the same, don't need to compare that. And I just go down right down the line here of everything that's comparable. But the one thing that I wanted to point out was, um, and this is where I think digging deeper into things when you have the time at a lower level, like I'm doing right now, will allow me, whenever I get to a higher level, to make better decisions on things I want to experiment with. Because I had assumed that all ammo that's out there had a tracking speed multiplier right here. If you notice this. So each one of these has a tracking speed multiplier. Um, and that affects obviously your tracking, your ability to shoot and hit somebody else. That can be very important or not sometimes. It really depends on who you're fighting and what guns you're using. But the added bonus from the tracking speed multiplier is very important for your projectile ammo. And I had thought that it worked that way for all ammo that was out there. I was incorrect with that because the Incursus that I'm currently flying, being a Galente ship, shoots hybrid weapons. So, and this video really isn't about the differences in ammo. It's more about digging a little bit deeper to not make poor decisions in the future, especially at the beginning when you're starting to learn about the game. Now, I'm a person who learns by doing. I will remember seeing this and mess around with it. And I will never forget this. I probably read somewhere, someplace, sometime that there was a difference, but I forgot it because I never used that. So by learning it and using it at the lower levels, it's going to allow me to remember that better when I get to the higher levels and I'm trying to fit out bigger and badder ships. So, and I'll show you here. So, see the tracking speed multiplier is here. I'm going to show you one other thing too. Obviously, you've got your different types of damage. Okay. Um, the EMP is good against obviously EM damage. It's got a little bit there, and then um, your depleted uranium has a little bit of three different ones there. Your explosive, your kinetic, and your thermal. Whereas your carbonized um, only gives you a bonus against explosive and kinetic. It's got its bonuses. It's all about trying to fit what fits your ship for what you're trying to do. I need some coffee. I'm talking too much. When I first started playing, obviously, most people, they look to see how much damage does something do. The second time you start playing or messing around with something, you start realizing that maybe there's a range difference. The third time you start playing, maybe you start looking into the bonuses, like I'm showing here, um, and with the different types of ammo, with your EM and your explosive and kinetic. Um, Then the fourth stage of that is looking for those final bonuses that a weapon, or um, when you keep digging deeper and deeper, those final negatives that might affect ammo. And to give you an example, we'll go ahead and get rid of these. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight here and remove. And I'm going to go into the market here real quick, just because it's a quick list of all the ammo types. Blue, blue, blue. And I'm going to go down to small hybrid. And I'm just going to pick 3 or whatever, however many you want to do. Antimatter, radium, iron, lead. So now it doesn't even give me an option for a difference in tracking speed because all of the ammo in hybrids all track at the same speed. You don't get a bonus to that. Does that sound logical? I hope it does. Um, so I've just learned something very simple that maybe I didn't know, that all projectile ammo does have a bonus or a modifier to it, whereas all hybrid ammo only does one thing, or one tracking speed, one tracking speed. So that's one thing to slowly learn from digging deeper and deeper into different things. Second one, and this is probably something that you've read somewhere or seen, but if you haven't, when you pull up your ammos and you're digging a little bit deeper, if you notice, I'm clicking all four of these hybrid weapon ammo damages, and none of them do EM damage, and none of them do explosive damage. So there is your negative toward hybrid damage. Um, you can only do you only get bonuses for kinetic and thermal damage. So again, just digging deeper into it, I had kind of already known this part of it because I'd read it, and it's it's pretty simple. Um, but I think a lot of people don't dig enough into what tracking speeds do or other little things like that. And if you're ever wondering why some people are so much better at PvP and fitting out their ships for certain things, their fleets and things like that, when they're coming up with a strategy, they're not just looking at the types of damage or the weapons that they're using. They're going into the nitty-gritty. They've been doing this for years, and probably I'll never have the time to ever get as close to as good as they are. But this is where you can really separate yourself to be that upper echelon of a certain type of player. I'm not just talking ammos. I'm talking about types of weapons. I'm talking about mining lasers. Talking about types of ships. Every time you pull something up, it's always a good idea just to compare it and see if you see something different. Each ship in this game has a reason for being there. Now, some of them are kind of mostly copies of other ones, but as the game changes, some ships or some things that are being used become more or less usable. So, knowing more about these things, you can adjust quicker on the fly. I think I'm just kind of talking at this point to hear myself talk. So, that said, boom. Let's check out some comments. I didn't look at those earlier today. I saw I got a couple in. So I'm just gonna pull them up here. Oh, that's cool. Actually, might as well just pull this over here, video comments. I'll just do all the ones I haven't replied to in a while. Blah blah blah. One thing I really dislike about I wish I could get rid of is I don't really do these videos to get I love having subscribers, but I'm not never gonna make any money with these videos. But the gamer side of me sits there and goes, "Well, why didn't that video get as many views as the other one?" I really shouldn't care about that, and I try to stay away from looking at it. And I know that parts of it can be the time of day it was put out, things that are happening, the interest level, um, how YouTube does its algorithms. But the 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 intellectual part of me goes, "What happened there?" Or, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Um, but let's see here. Latest comments. That's where we want to go. View more. I'll just pull them all up here. I'm going to take a quick browse, real quick, to make sure that the ones that are popping up here aren't, there's nothing negative in there. I just literally, if something in there is obvious trolling, then I just delete it. I don't even bother. Why bother with that? But these are all seem pretty cool. So let's check them out here. Um, boom, boom. Oh, yeah. Moron's Guide. Welcome back too, my friend. I'm just going to reply to you here. Might as well do it live. Welcome back. Ooh, my friend. Cool. Um, I think this is the time of year that a lot of people, especially in the northern hemisphere, I think, probably come back to Eve as it starts getting a little bit colder. Um, maybe we're spending a little bit more time inside. Maybe that's what did it to me. But but whether it is or not, welcome back, Moron's Guide. That's kind of a funny name. I like it. Um, let's see here. Oh, this was an older video that I did quite a long time ago. Um, I did probably about a year. Well, uh, was a YouTuber that was out there. His name was Hateless. He did a ton of YouTube content, and he passed passed away last year, and I did a quick video. It's actually one of my more viewed videos. I think it was just a commentary about just saying goodbye to him. Honestly, I haven't looked back at it since a minute. I really don't look at much of my videos once I make them. Um, but it was really kind of a sad day. Um, I'll just reply to, and this is Yin Yang Meditation 531. Yeah, buddy. Whoops, I got a reply. Why is that not? There we go. Thanks, man. Well, he was a really good guy. I think I might be right or wrong with this. I used to watch, uh, it was a daily series during COVID, um, called Talking in Stations. I think they've gone weekly or maybe even monthly now, but it was really going strong whenever I was doing that. That's kind of what got me back into the game. But I also watched a lot of Hate Lists. I watched a couple other people. There was one guy that I did watch that I stopped watching. Um, but uh, mostly, if you watch the last video, I actually brought up another guy who started doing videos recently that I really like. Um, try to just I watch almost anything on YouTube. It's very rare for me to actually watch TV unless a football game's on. It's kind of sad. Um, so let's see here. To keep assets up a program, Eve, to keep assets, look up a program, Eve assets. Can also search multiple characters. Oh, okay. So Nigel Roberts here. I think I've heard of this. Um, let me see here. So he's saying, uh, look up a program, Eve Assets. I'm just going to Google here real quick and see if Eve Assets. Now, I don't know anything about it, but he's saying, and I think I've heard of this. Um, there is a program out there that you could download or use that will keep track of all of your assets in the game. I think this would be huge for really big manufacturing guys. Um, I don't really use a lot of third-party stuff other than Dotlan, um, but I know a lot of people do. So really good point there. There are a lot of really good third-party sites out there that you can mess around with. I think I had posted a video a long time ago of third-party ones that I had heard about. Maybe I'll do a video about that. Um, point, Nigel. Um, I'm currently talking about your note in my next vid. Thanks, man. Oh, I got two. So thanks, Nigel, there. Looks like I got two. We'll do two more because they're from the same person, then we'll jump out of here. Um, so we got Timo Sarpola. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. 7389. You know what? I feel a little bad about this. Um, I didn't. This has been there for 4 days. I haven't gotten to it. I think I saw this a couple days ago, whenever I was on my phone. But let me just read these here. So, talking about daily rewards, um, I have an alpha alt in career system, and usually building something or scanning 5 signatures gives me about 10,000 skill points. Yeah. Um, takes just a minute daily. Um, there is the free Omega time once or twice a year. Oh, I like this. You know what? I remember reading this. Um, I've set up PI for this tune and reset it weekly. I have 3 to 4 storage facilities there, and by the time the next Omega time comes out, I get about 300 to 500 million worth of PI. Um, playing and planning 8 to 12 months in the future. So I like this. So what he's saying is, I think I remember seeing this. Every once in a while, Eve will give out free Omega for like 2 or 3 days a year. So what he's done is set up an alpha account while he had that omega going, um, and then created some PI on some planets. And then uh, he resets them as the years going along. But as an alpha, you're not allowed to actually extract that, I don't think. Um, but whenever it does revert back around to, and I might be wrong with this, Timo, um, is he waits until that free time comes back up, and during that short period of time, he then uses that tune to go and extract that planetary interaction. He's saying here it takes 8 to 12 months of planning in advance, so you've got to let it sit. Um, but if you're willing to do it, there is some money to be made there. So that's a really good point. I'm going to say the same thing to Timo that I said to Nigel. Tim, great idea. I'm sure I have the time for 8 to 12 months of thinking. I know others do. Brought this up in my vid, so they can try it out. Now here's a kicker though. Oh, thanks, man. um, one thing you want to, and this is where I'm trying to figure out markets. I don't know much about them, but if other people are doing this, even though you can extract those planetary items, maybe you don't want to sell them right away, because if a lot of people are extracting those at that time and then selling them right away, that will drop the markets down and you'll lose money off of that. So maybe the good idea is, if you get those 3 days of free time, get as much PI off those planets as you can, that is built up, and then save it for 2 or 3 months and then sell it. Or you can obviously build stuff out of it. Um, but if you're just trying to sell it, I would say extract it, hold on to it for a little. This is just my thinking. I might be off with this, but let me know. But yeah, there we go. Timo. And Timo's got another message here. It was hard to wait until. Oh, he's just saying he was waiting for the video. But finally, I want you to. Too many others. That's pretty cool. Too many other streamers get overly excited and go over the top in their videos. Slow and say, yeah, this is going to be a really slow and steady. Um, uh, I'm hoping set of videos. I have no idea where I'm going to be in 2 months with this, but I'm just kind of going along with the way I'm playing, just totally relaxed. I appreciate your comments there. There's a lot of great streamers out there, and there's no way I can do as good a job as they can with what they're doing. So I think I might have found a little bit of a niche here, to just kind of have some fun and relax. Um, so awesome. Oh, and there was one more message here from Full Afterburner from a month ago. He actually saw my hate list video, and he also commented that it was actually a motorcycle accident that hate list passed away in. So again, we will miss him. Thank you for that, Full Afterburner. But other than that, I don't want to leave it on a sad note, but it is kind of sad, and things happen in life. But that's all I got for tonight. I got some more ideas coming that I want to try out, and as I try them out, I'll hit you guys up with some videos. I'm gonna grind a little bit over the next day or so. I'm doing some more missions, and one thing that I'm gonna look into is, I'm flying the Incursus right now because I got it for free, and I've done all these missions. I really think for these level 1 missions to just do them, it probably would have been better for me to fly a Tristan, even if I could only fly 4 drones at the time, because it would give me more range and more damage to do on initial standpoints if I'm just trying to churn through these missions real quick. So I may actually fit out a Tristan just to mess around with it. I'm not going to do that just yet. I got to finish off this stupid drone mission. Somebody just showed up too. I think I got to feed her. She's looking at me with a smile on her face, but that smile says food. Um, so other than that, guys, hey, As always, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however that you want. Hey, and Maya, say goodbye. Can you say goodbye? Ah, she looked at you guys. All right, cool. Um, have a good one, and I will talk to you soon. Be safe.